Good evening and welcome to the first edition in the 2024 season of the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. This is Trey Graham along with Cardinals head football coach Matt Nally. Here we go again, Coach.
You know, isn't it crazy? I mean, it just feels like we were doing this for the first time. Heck, to be honest with you, Pastor Graham, it feels like this is the first time we've did it, 6 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And that one time, Seth let me come on when he was the head coach.
Yes.
But golly, I can't believe it. We're right back at it again.
So, 2024 season, fourth year of the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. And there's a reason we're sitting in the sun that I'm blinded by, and I'll tell you that in a second, okay? Fourth year of the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. Your sixth season as the head football coach.
Yes, sir.
My 17th year calling Melissa Cardinals football.
Wow.
And we're doing something different this year.
Oh, okay.
We're taking the Cardinal Scoreboard Show on the road.
Dang right. That's awesome.
So we're going to do it from a different place every week. And because it's 105 degrees, we decided to do it outside today.
Absolutely.
That seems like a good idea. So we're going to take the Cardinal Scoreboard Show on the road this season. We're going to film from different places all around Melissa, all around the campus, places you've seen, places you haven't seen, places you're allowed to go, places you're not allowed to go. So we're going to let the fans kind of get some inside looks while we're here.
It's a great idea.
And while we're still getting rolling, you are on the injured reserve.
Yes, I am. I'm not as young as I used to be.
Really?
That Toby Keith song, I'm not as good as I once was, or however that goes.
Okay.
And, I thought that I was a young man and I could pick up this freezer with one arm, and I can't. So
I heard you tell a different story.
I did. I've told a few.
Yeah.
I told one
Does
that.
Does it get better every time you tell it?
Yeah.
Fighting alligators, I think, was one of them.
Yeah, I've told one that I was saving a bunch of orphans from a burning building, and I got all the orphans out, and then I went in for their puppies, and I tore my bicep. And I've told all these great ones, but it was funny is every one that I've said, I've had someone come to me and say, "Man, that's an amazing story."
they believed it.
Yeah.
And then you had to say, "No, I was just moving furniture."
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right, well, the medical portion of the show is coming to an end. All right, the Cardinals begin a new football season. Fall camp is coming to an end. The Argyle Eagles scrimmage coming up this Friday. And on this question, I'm going to ask the question, and guess what? I'm going to answer it. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
So, Coach, what are you looking for in this week's scrimmage? And you know what the coaches are going to say? Well, we want to get a good look.
Yep.
Want to get everybody some reps.
Yep.
And stay healthy.
Yeah. That is the recipe for a scrimmage. They say, you can't win a scrimmage, and if you come out healthy, you win.
Right.
So in all reality, it's going to be, once again, do we have the right schemes in for the right personnel? And is everything fitting properly? And this is, I'm going to say it because it's just what I firmly believe, but it's also the first two games. Is everything working the way it should be working as we go into district play? So you are correct.
I've done this before with a few guys in your chair over there. Okay. We're sitting in 105-degree heat right now. So talk about how have you stayed healthy or tried to stay healthy in the severe temperatures?
The wet bulb is a real thing, and like when we were kids, it didn't exist. When we were kids, you were out here getting after it and whatnot, and it's kind of crazy that
twice per day.
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy that no one fell out or whatever when we were kids, and but now obviously it's a serious issue that we got to make sure that we're mindful of and things like that. So what we do is I'm obsessed with practice, and that's my big thing. Is as I go into the off season, is how can I make practice more effective and whatnot. So we've practiced in the morning before, and my old players are going to be upset what I'm about to say. And it's funny because Coach Zach Wilkie's on my staff now, and we've been doing some stuff.
Which is an indication that you are not as young as you used to be, that your former Melissa player is now a Melissa coach.
And he's doing such a great job. But we've changed some things up in practice to keep the kids fresh, but also, like I was talking to this one coach who, and to be honest with you, it was a coach at Mississippi State, where we got our practice structure that we're doing now. But to get kids in game shape, they've got to have game reps. And we think of that like it used to be when I was a kid. As a coach, it was you get kids in shape through running 1640s or in scrimmages, and things like that. And he was like,
the
man,
Oklahoma drill.
Yeah, just all these things. And he's like, you got to think outside the box. And so everything has got to be so fast. Everything that you're doing has got to be fast. So we've adopted this new practice schedule, and it's in the morning. We really practice fall camp. I was flirting with the UIL rules when I first got the job with that 8-hour deal, and now
that's a limit for how much you can do at certain parts of the season, how many hours you can be on the field, etc.
And so now, fall camp, we practice for about the longest day we had was 1 hour and 47 minutes. And once again, we practice in the morning to get out of the heat. Now we do have an unbelievable indoor. So what I tried to do in fall camp was, especially with both groups. So I wanted my freshmen, my JV, and my varsity, or all groups, to experience a little bit of heat. Now the wet bulb made us go into the indoor, which is fine, but I wanted to make sure that we were exposing the kids to a little bit of heat as well. But practicing in the morning, we're into our scrimmage phase of what we do in fall camp now. So, but we're going to practice in the morning now. We'll do some things to kind of still expose to heat a little bit, but nothing like we used to do in the good old days.
We look back on them as the good old days.
Yeah, heck yeah.
We told you we're taking the Cardinal Scoreboard Show on the road this year. Here we are in the Runout Tunnel. That's where we're sitting right now. Of course, the field behind us here at Coach Kenny Deal Stadium. And something really cool is the Runout Experience.
Yeah.
You were a part of designing that. We were in meetings with all kinds of people, but you said, no, I want this music at this time and the smoke machines.
Right.
And why do you care?
So last year, we have a leadership group that we call the Cardinal Council that I wanted it to be special for the team. It was the first time that we were opening up Kenny Deal Stadium, and it was so neat. Dave Campbell's was here today, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and one of the guys said, I recorded the entry, and when people ask me about Melissa, Texas, I show them the entry of the kids coming in. But it needs to be something that I feel like is like a college atmosphere,
right.
But besides that, like a little bit of an intimidation factor.
Sure.
So this year it's going to be a little bit different. So we went back to the drawing board.
Stay tuned. Is that what you just
heck
said?
Yeah. We went back to the drawing board, and we kind of have like a little hype video, and then we have a little run-through song. So I'm pretty pumped about it. And I'm excited to see how the fans react, because it is an opportunity for the fans and the players to react or interact with each other before the game starts.
And a special piece of that is this box right behind us.
Right.
Tell the story.
The thing about Fred Lewis is the greatest thing is, his kids were here and he was involved in the program. But the greatest thing is when his kids had graduated and he was still involved in the program. And just that overwhelming piece of motivation and inspiration that he brought, as our kids were coming out each game, Fred would be there saying it's time to go to work. And that is something that was kind of our rally call when Fred got sick and then Fred passed away. And it's still kind of who we are. We have a flag that says it's time to go to work, and we're always going to.
And that's what, I know you probably can't see it, but that is what's inscribed on the top of that there.
Yeah, and it's just something that to show our appreciation to him, and he will always live on in Melissa football.
You are watching this season opening edition of the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. Trey Graham and Coach Matt Nally. So it's also the first day of school.
Yeah.
So you are a dad and a coach, and you expect your players to do well on the field, of course, but also in the classroom, and that means grades and sort of manners and conduct, right? Talk about how you enforce the academic side and the, what do you call it, behavior or character side?
The character side of it.
Yeah.
So first off, that's going to stem, all the way back to January. So, I mean, in the off season, we do, and I'm going to brag on myself a little bit. I'm a little arrogant, I guess, when it comes to this stuff. But that is one thing that I think that I do pretty well, especially here in Melissa, is we do character from January all the way through spring ball. We're really pounding in the fact of being a good human,
Right.
being a good citizen, being a good being a good husband, one day being a good father. So in January and off seasons, it's every day.
And that's theoretical stuff. It's character or attitude stuff, but you
Right.
do some real practical things.
Well,
How to tie a tie.
Yeah, we do how to tie a tie, how to shake a hand, and things like that. And but at the end of the day, like I really feel like nobody taught me how to do that. I mean, my dad worked from sun up to sundown, and he wasn't really there to show me those things and do those things. But not just that, people do have people in their lives that teach them that, but some people don't.
Right.
And I feel like it's our job to teach kids those things. People talk about, character and things like that. We just really talk about we're trying to teach them how to think right, do right, live right. And, it's a lot of things that people don't, people take for granted. People think about winning football games or winning basketball games or winning baseball games or whatever the case may be. And we talk about winning lives. We want to win a life when they're in Melissa. We don't want just to win a football game. So, but we talk about those things, and then we did some group settings this year that I thought was really, really effective to get to know your teammates, but also to talk about those things too. And we tried to read the room. What's the pulse? What is going on in the world today that we need to talk to these kids about? And then allow the kids to have a voice, but also take those things and use those things that we can guide them and show them that. This is what it means to truly be a man. And that's what we're trying to make. We're trying to be an extension of the parent to make a man. And we need that. We need strong men in our society today. And I hope that we have a little piece of that.
And what about on the academic side?
On the academic side of it, I'm going to be one of those kids that, I struggled through high school. And I struggled through high school because, I'll just be straight in front, I didn't care, and I didn't ask the right questions to the right people, and I felt dumb and things like that. So having those conversations with kiddos that, like my oldest boy, I don't really have to have a conversation. He's figured it out. He's more like his mom than me, but there's other kids out there that people think, oh, well, that kid just can't figure it out. He can figure it out. And it's having those one-on-one conversations with those kids that they understand that they can figure it out and whatnot. We do grade checks, and we have conversations with our kids one-on-one, and then we have conversations with our kids and their teachers one-on-one, and their counselors and whatnot, trying to help them navigate through high school. But needless to say, like most of the time that these kids just need a little bit of a confidence boost. It's not the fact that they can't figure it out or, quote unquote, they're not smart enough or things like that. They just need a boost in their confidence and having a conversation. Because once again, no one ever taught me how to study. No one ever taught me how to take notes. In sitting a kid down and talking about, because it's not just about sitting in the front of the class.
Right.
It's about those study skills and those study habits that that you need to acquire throughout your lifetime. Like I went to college and studied or struggled in college just because of the fact that I didn't know how to take a note. I didn't know how to study and things like that. And thank goodness for my wife who taught me how to study and things like that. But I want to be that piece that when kids hit adversity, I want them to hit it now. So when they do go off in life that they don't struggle with those things.
One of the things we talk about every year, and one of the things that's constant about high school football is change.
Yes.
New coaches come in, coaches depart, seniors graduate, new freshmen arrive with the world as it is with Melissa, new students moving in all the time.
Right.
Talk about handling change.
First off, I'll say this. This was the first year, we're the fourth fastest growing city in the United States of America. And that was the first time that I really noticed it this year. And I know that's crazy to think of, but you're sitting there and it's just, you have a lot of kids moving in. The one thing that I love, or lots of things that I love, but the one thing that I really cherish about Melissa is everybody is so welcoming to these new kids, these new families that are coming in. So that was the one thing that I really this year took me by surprise, was just the overwhelming. Because when I first got here, there was 80 kids, 9th through 12th. Football players. And this year we have 252 in high school. We have over 300 in the junior high.
In 2 grades.
Wow.
Wow.
So, and we're going to have 5 teams, and realistically, we could have 6 if we wanted to. We just can't find anybody that plays.
Nobody else has 6
right,
teams.
Right. So, but that piece. But my incoming freshmen are kind of like my senior class. Just a bunch of blue collar kids that really are tough, are great teammates, and just love being a Melissa Cardinal. And the great thing about this, you talk about change, is the coaching staff that I have right now is amazing in the regards of that freshman group is extremely important. We say it sometimes, but you don't act upon it. This freshman group is extremely important. The JV is extremely important. Obviously, the varsity is extremely important. And, you get to see these coaches coach, but it's when that coach is out there coaching a freshman, and he's coaching him the same way as you're coaching an Owen Hollenbeck who's going to Oklahoma. To me, that makes me proud. Not just as the coach, but as a dad as well. Like,
standards are standards,
right? And these guys care about every single kid.
Right.
And when we have our personnel meetings, and I'm a crazy. We do a personnel meeting about every other day, and in fall camp, and we talk about every single kid. So we talk about 252 kids, and but just the passion that these guys are bringing in and discussing those kids is awesome. So my sophomore class is a very talented. My junior class is very, very talented as well. So we have a great mixture of blue collar and talent. So I'm really excited about all levels this year. Our JV won the district championship last year, and our freshman B team won the district championship last year. So we're really, really excited about just every group. Like I said, we have 252 kids. So for me, we did a great job of retaining kids and kids wanting to be here and play football. But also we did a great job of developing, because we took our freshmen last week and we took them to the Colony, and our freshmen played their freshman A team, and then our freshmen also played Farmersville's JV, and they did such a great job. I was so excited about both groups and how they competed, and really how they showcased Melissa football. So hopefully it'll translate this Friday when we go to Argyle, and our JV and our varsity and our freshmen get after it.
Next week, when we get together, we will talk about the scrimmage coming up this Friday night in Argyle, and then we'll look ahead to the season opener against Parkview, and we'll get into that story next week. And so the last question for you, as always, what do you ask for? What are you looking for from Cardinal fans?
Nothing, just really much of the same. I hate to be this way, but who has a better fan base than we do? You know what I mean? And, we have a kind of a credo, who's got it better than us. And when it comes to that, nobody. We've got an unbelievable fan base. It doesn't matter in the good times or the bad times or whatever. They're unbelievable. When you can come to a scrimmage and it's packed, or you can come to a game that doesn't mean anything and it's packed, or you can come to a playoff game and it's packed. It's one of the most electrifying stadiums to be a part of, and that is because of the fans. And a lot of people like to say Melissa facilities, and they're amazing. But it's the people that fill those facilities is which makes it special. And our fans are really, really special. We're very, very grateful to have them.
It's a great honor for us to bring you the Cardinal Scoreboard Show, our 4th season. And as we said earlier, we're going to take it on the road, a different spot each week. You'll get to see some behind the scenes of life here in Melissa football. And we're sitting here right now on the run-through tunnel here at Coach Kenny Deal Stadium. We invite you to join us every Monday on the Melissa ISD YouTube channel for the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. I invite you to join us every Sunday morning at First Melissa, 9 a.m. or 10:15 a.m. Go to firstmelissa.com to find out more. And we want to say thanks, Coach Matt Nally.
Thank you.
Welcome to a new season.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Thank you guys, Cardinal fans, for watching, and we will see you next week.